Whitetail Insights, brought to you by the QDMA, the Quality Deer Management Association, ensuring the future of whitetail deer.
Maybe more hunting related than management related is deer communication. There's a lot of ways that deer communicate with each other. And I thought there's nobody better to talk about that than you on the different ways that deer communicate.
Well, you're right. Deer are far more social than most people realize, and they're communicating on a daily basis. They have lots of glands that they use, and so from a hunter end, and I often think of this as from a hunter. I'm a wildlife biologist, and I'm very fortunate, but I am first and foremost a deer hunter. So I look at all of this from a deer hunting end, and how can I use this information to help put me closer to them in the fall. But really, we know that the deer rub on trees, and everybody looks at that, but certainly it's a way for deer to communicate. And so deer actually will rub in the forehead gland. Research has looked at, there's all kinds of information from deer that they're not just rubbing their antlers there, they actually will rub that gland there to leave their calling card for other deer to come through. So if you ever watch a rub or see a deer, multiple deer will use it, and they'll come in and they'll smell it. And it's basically, like the business card on the bulletin board, downtown at the grocery store, where everybody that comes through leaves it. So deer are doing this on a very regular basis. Does will come in and check these rubs to see what bucks have been in the area. And there's all kinds of information deer can leave about themselves, their age, their fitness level, dominant status, at these for other deer to come through and check on.
I think people don't, maybe sometimes hunters in the woods don't realize how intertwined they are with the communication, that when there's a rub or a scrape and another deer comes by, they know exactly what deer that was.
That's right, and and probably a way even more so than rubs are the scrapes, as you say. And there's a very well-defined sequence that deer have to do with that scrape, and they'll lick that overhanging branch and mark it. Well, it's not just lick it, they'll rub their preorbital gland on it, they smell it, they mouth it again, so they're leaving just the right scent on it. And then on the ground, they'll tear that dirt away and they'll urinate in it. And actually the most important gland on a deer's body is that tarsal gland, that's on the inside of their back leg. And for deer to be able to use that scent, basically their cologne that they have on, through their pee, basically, with the bacteria that's in that gland, all deer in an area then learn who's there and what's going on. So even though we can't smell it, now we can smell a deer that's a little musky, but to tell the difference, we can't understand that. But from a deer's world where the nose is so complex, all of that makes sense exactly. Who's in an area, how long ago they were there, they can follow each other from that. It's just incredible the amount of information they share on a very regular basis that we often are immune to because we can't see what's going on.
Like you said, we might not be able to tell the difference, but it's still important information for a hunter, because if we see a rub, we can't detect which deer was there or what deer rubbed on there. But if we understand, like what you just said, how deer know, they know each other in that area, they know exactly who that was. And if we know, they know, and we learn about that communication, we can use that kind of in our tool chest hunting and improve your odds when you're in the deer woods.
Absolutely. And if you ever watch deer that are sparring or fighting, you'll notice that the loser often will smell the forehead gland of the victor. They often will lick it. They'll smell it. They're getting another sense, so they know exactly who it is.
Who to stay away from.
So that then that fall, if they smell that deer who has been in a rub, they know immediately, like, ooh, that's Dean. This is Dean's area. I need to stay out of that. So that's one of the ways that they help keep order in the deer world, and why it's so important to have those older bucks out there, just to make sure that everything works the way it's supposed to for the whitetails.
This Whitetail Insight is brought to you by the Quality Deer Management Association. Become a member and ensure the future of whitetail deer.